Bright MLS. That's just a fancy title for your training representative. I have the pleasure of coming out to all of the brokerages in the Bright region and training 85,000 people, and all you guys convert over to the new system. So it is quite the job, and it's a pleasure to do it. A little bit about me, I'm also licensed as well. I'm a licensed realtor in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I just converted last week with car, so I understand how critical this conversion is, and we are here to walk you through it. I do have some attendance sheets I'm going to pass around. This is how I will continue to keep in contact with you throughout this process. So I'll give you one there, and I should do that.
You want to, and we'll start one back.
Yeah, you can start one over here. That's fine. Thank you. You guys need a pen, or I guess you guys all have one. So for today, we are going to just dive deep into the website. This is almost going to be like a Bright MLS 101. We are going to cover search. We're also going to cover listing management as well as the client portal. So have you all received the welcome email with your passcode or prompting you to create a passcode?
Right.
And have you all had the opportunity to go into the site at all?
It didn't work for me, but.
It didn't work for you?
What's your login name, just your number?
Your login, so your username is going to be the same user ID that you use for MRIS, and then the password is something that you will create. Now the passwords have to have those special characters, so you'll just need to create a new one.
They send a separate email with your password link.
Yeah, so you'll just need to create a new password.
And
if you find that you've created a new password and it's still not working, then you want to contact customer support, and I'll give you guys their number in just a moment. So we'll dive into that in just a bit. For the people who have gone onto the website, what do you guys think so far?
I have a problem because sometimes I can log in, sometimes it don't allow me to log in.
Okay, so that's also customer support too. If they can help you with that.
For 3 days, we've been trying to I couldn't get in MRIS after I changed everything.
Oh, really?
And she couldn't get in, the lady that helped me. And
That's
for about a half an hour, she kept getting help. And finally, she put a code number in for me and said they would call me.
That's an unusual one.
Did, but I got an email.
I need to get your information. I'll follow up with you personally.
They must have done it without letting me know.
What's your name?
Paige.
Paige. So when you sign in, I'll just check on your
And then they sent an email, but they didn't say anything about the issue. But when I tried to get into MRS, I can get in now. So I don't know what they did. Or what
it must have been something on the back end, but you just brought up a good point. So just so you guys know, you guys do convert over the week of the 20th. So the day before that, on the 19th, will be your last day in MRIS. It will cut off at 6 p.m. So between now and the 19th, now is the time to go into the system, test drive it, compare it to MRIS, look to see what you have in your carts. We'll talk about that in a moment, because carts are not going to move over. But just really compare the systems, because come the 19th, you will no longer have access to MRIS. You guys are the last group in Virginia to convert. We just converted NVAR earlier this week. So once we finish up with your group, you all are group 6, we will move on to Pennsylvania and continue to train those people. Yes.
So we have things in cards. What do we do?
So what I did when I converted over, I just printed out the listings that were in that cart, and I also took screenshots of them. And then that way I was able to just drop those listings right back into the cards into Bright.
And auto email searches, because I've seen different comments about what happens with those.
Those do convert.
Those are going to convert.
Those are going to convert, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So contacts, active listings, saved searches, and auto emails will move over. Yes, auto emails though are a very unique piece, but we'll talk about that.
Now with your contacts, you guys have moved them all over already, but what if we put something in between when you move them and when it converts? Will it go back and re-pick them up, or do we have to re-enter them?
They will move over, but you can also just start entering new contacts in the new system too.
Right, but for this week when I'm working with that client.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so yeah, it will move over. It will continue to move over.
It will.
New contacts.
Okay.
do I understand like the favorites, notes, things like that, do not really?
Your favorite for the client?
So if my client has picked favorites or possible, I have an ongoing search for them.
Right, no, that's,
Or comments that they make.
that's not going to move over, but they'll still be able to do that.
But they have to redo anything they've done.
Yes.
And Joyce was at the other, Joyce, didn't they tell us that they're not moving auto search?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're moving them in the form of a saved search, but then you'll have to do a two-step process to convert them back into auto email. So we're gonna dive into that now.
We were told they're not at the last class.
What was the class did you go to?
Joyce, it's just what,
Last week.
last week, it's our.
Yeah, they're moving them in the form of a saved search, and then you have to convert them to an auto email, which I will talk to you guys about that. So this brings me to my next point. If we could hold questions to the end of each section, otherwise we'll never get through everything that we need to get through. So, all right, so you guys have received your emails, and most of you, it sounds like, have been able to create a password. So now I'm going to take you through some of the first few things that you want to do now within your system to get up and ready for your actual conversion. So the very first thing you should do is log in, of course, and then after logging in, just clicking on your name in the top corner. And for those of you with a computer, you still might want to just take notes as opposed to following along, because I may move faster than it'll take you to get to that place. So you might just want to write down those steps. So you click on your name in the top corner. And when you click on your name, you'll see Account and Settings. And this is where you'll go to really just update your contact information. We'll first confirm that it's accurate. So you'll go to Contact Information here. And from here, you're just going to scroll down and just make sure that your name, your phone number that you're tied to, I'm assuming this is everyone's primary office. You'll just want to make sure that the business office is correct at the bottom. And most of this will move over. 95% of the time, this does move over, but we just want to make sure that it is all correct. And then the next step.
But you can edit it or whatever.
Yeah, you can add it out. And then the very next step that we recommend is going to License Association MLS. So this is where you'll go to enter in all your license numbers if you're licensed in maybe DC or Maryland. You can also go here to add your designations. So if you have them, you definitely want to make sure that they are all added here, because everything that you do at this point will carry out through the rest of the platform.
Can you
License.
repeat that again?
Yeah, so this is License Association.
What is that under?
Sorry.
Account settings?
Account
Account
settings.
settings.
How do you go back? I clicked on the, edit my personal information. How do I?
Yeah, but hey, let's stop for a second. If you guys are gonna follow along, we can't have everybody right now. We have to be careful.
It's too hard for you guys to
We'll be here all day.
Exactly. You might just want to write the steps down because it's gonna move too quickly. But after so select your designations, and then right after that, it's gonna ask you for your MLS. And so you all will just select MRIS in this list here.
Select which one?
MRIS. So you're basically selecting your old one. And that's it for this icon. Then I'm just hitting the back menu or the back button. And then the next step, you all are not going to see it on your end. It's called MLS settings. You won't see this step until the weekend before you go live. But it is an important step, so I would write this one down. MLS settings. It's on the third row of the account settings menu.
So we'll get this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess you guys could go. No.
Oh,
That's
next week.
Yeah, the
Next
19th.
So you're saying.
I would say about like the 17th or the 18th, this icon that I'm telling you about right now will pop up.
Till 17th or 18th.
Right. And
Got
it's
it.
called MLS settings.
Okay.
Once it does pop up though, you should do these things right away. So when that icon does pop up on the third row of that menu, it'll take you to My Information. So this is where you can go to add your headers and footers. Did you guys use headers and footers? Some people did, some people don't. So headers and footers are great, like if you're printing out your listings or when you're sending out auto emails, it just brands you at the top. So if you were doing that, this is where you would go to set that up.
So wasn't that automatic though? I mean, I don't remember ever having to set that up.
You do, because you can select a background.
You can select a template.
Yep.
for it. Yeah.
And it's just been a while.
Yeah, you probably did it a long time ago and forgot about it. So this is where you would go to set it up again. You can add your social media profiles at the bottom along with your website. The second tab is the actual header and footer. And we have the exact same themes that we had before. So if you just come down to this link here, you'll click that link, and you can just choose through all the different ones we have. Now we have the exact same one, so you'll probably find the one that you've used before. And then just scroll down, and you can upload your headshot as well. This is also where you can go to upload your headshot for the CMA cover sheet. Some people do include a photo there, so you could do that here as well. This is also where you would go to create an email signature. So your email signature for your auto emails, this is where you can do that. And then last but not least, the portal profile. So the client portal is changing for the customer as well. It is enhanced. They have some new features and functionalities that they couldn't do in the past. So you do have the opportunity to brand that portal to you. It's almost like a shared workspace between you and the client. Not only will they receive auto emails, they can also receive CMAs through that as well. So you can put a headshot there like I have. You can include a welcome message, simple welcome message, greeting. For anyone that does YouTube or has a YouTube channel, you could also include a YouTube video. So if you have like a YouTube video on, I don't know, maybe 5 steps of the buying process, something like that, you can include that there. And then of course it'll have your contact information. So are there any questions about this piece, like the My Information? I know you guys can't really see it, but any questions about all that you can do at this point?
Are there training videos like that sort of profile?
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah, there's training videos for every function, pretty much every section of the website. You know, we realize that this is a one-time training. You're not going to remember everything. So we have plenty of resources for you. And we also have a YouTube channel as well. And the YouTube channel has all of the videos too. So, and I'll show you on the site where you can find those videos. All right, so now we're going to go into the main site, and just so you know, you can always get to the home page by clicking on the logo on the top left corner. And this will take you to the main business dashboard. So one of the things I do want to point out, as a CSC, I come to you and do classes, but we also have trainers that conduct classes, as you know, at the associations. We oftentimes will get a hotel, rent out banquet space, and we'll do very large venue trainings there as well. When you log in, when you actually go live, you will start to see classes that will populate in the middle of the screen there. So if you ever see one like in Ashburn or in your marketplace, by all means register for it, and you can register for it directly on the website. To the right of that section, you'll find articles and online videos that you can watch. So one of the popular ones is listings, listing management, or updating the new fields for listings. I would definitely, you know, while you guys have access to the site and MRIS, this would be a good time to start watching some of those videos and just, you know, learning, because when you go live on the 20th, that's it. So again, these resources are always going to be on the right side when you log in. So now I just want to call your attention to this top bar at the top, this navy blue bar. This is our main menu, and this will be found pretty much on all of our pages. So we're going to just go through some of the categories now so that you can understand what you can find there. So for the search category, this is where you'll go to create your basic search. This is where you can also go to search for open houses, agent rosters, tax records, and then inventory by office. So you can find all of that directly from the search menu here. The client tab is where you'll go to pretty much view your contacts. So your contacts should have moved over. If you don't have any contacts there, we're still in the process of moving data over for your area. You can also come to the clients tab to manage your auto emails, and then view your CMAs, and then also your sent emails too. So really anything pertaining to the client you can do for the client tab. The My Listings tab, so we no longer use the term Keystone. That's completely gone. We just simply refer to it as listing management or My Listings. At the My Listings menu, you'll be able to add and edit your listings, and you can also access profile sheets from this menu as well. From the Finance tab, are you guys using Close It currently today? Is anybody use Close It? Okay.
It's a net sheet.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So this is where you'll go to essentially create seller net sheets and buyer closing costs. We have drastically improved that tool. So if you were using it or maybe weren't using it or just didn't know what it was, this is where you can go to do that. Market research, this is where you'll come to run reports and prepare different analyses. We have a year-to-date report, we have a market view 360. So there's quite a few different reports that you can run. Brokerage, Dave, this is probably where you'll go to create the permission.
We don't even have that.
So we don't even have that.
Yeah, you guys won't have that.
Okay.
More is a good place to come as well. You can view the Bright MLS rules and regulations. So for those of you who do not know, Bright is essentially a combination of two MLSs. We just had a merger. It's MRIS combined with Trend MLS. So Trend is what agents and subscribers used in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and some parts of Delaware. We pretty much joined forces, we combined, and as a result, we have new policies, we have new rules, we have new regulations, we have some new terminology, which we will talk about in just a moment. But you'll definitely want to come to this guide here at some point and get familiar with it, just from a compliance standpoint. I would also pay attention to page 13, which is the status cheat sheet. That we'll talk about that in just a moment. At the top is the About tab. And I'm going to just briefly click on this so that you guys can get the customer support information. So as I mentioned, we pretty much, we are a new company through our merger. MRIS was always based in Rockville. So we still have that office. Trend MLS was based in King of Prussia, so we still have that office as well. So now we essentially have double the support. We have two support teams that are available to assist you with whatever it is that you need with the website. So passwords, or if you're having trouble logging in, this would be who we would contact. We are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, and then on the weekends from 9 to 6. For those of you in the back who can't see the number, it is 844. You want to write it down. 552 7444. And I will say, like, whatever issue or whatever trouble it is that you're experiencing, they will more than likely try to resolve it over the phone. If they cannot resolve it over the phone, they'll create a case for you and follow up with you in regards to your case and when it is resolved. If you find that you're not hearing back from them in a timely fashion, I'm going to pass around my cards. You can just email me whatever it was that you initially talked to them about, and then I will expedite it up the chain for you as well.
Is there any other way to contact them? Because there were 38 people in front of me.
You can also email them. So the email is just support@brightmls.com.
Their phone system told you you were 38th in the waiting call.
And then,
God.
I was so 20.
yeah, so when did you call? Did you call like this week? Yes, so with NVARD converting with 12,000 agents, I know it's really tight right now, which is why we're not moving you all until the 19th. It's busy right now. I mean, there's really no way of putting it. It is busy right now, which is why we've had to stagger releasing it.
I have one point. Did we take a look at the fact that you're converting us the week of Thanksgiving and how many people were going to travel on that Tuesday?
We did. We really fought hard to move that date, but we got a lot of pushback. We had a lot of people, brokerages, who said that they were okay with that date because they said it would be a slower time.
And when did you ask us?
We did surveys. We brought a lot of brokers in. We did focus groups. We're still doing that. We're still doing focus group surveys. You all actually made a survey as well. So, but we thought about it, and it was like some people said that it was crazy, a crazy time, and other people thought it would be slow. So, but it's like, right, that's not gonna work for everyone. But this is the customer information.
I called on Sunday and didn't have to wait at home.
Yeah.
We better pay.
Yeah, and I would say call very early or call like towards the end, but in that middle of the day, whatever, that's what everybody's calling. But yeah, or the weekends. That's good, Sunday. Yeah. That's good. Thank you. This is where you'll go, the news tab. This is where you'll go to find all of our online resources. I know somebody just give me a moment to finish this part. So someone in the back asked about that. So if you go to news at the top and then conversion information, this is our central hub for everyone that's converting. So I do want to just call out a few different resources that we do have here. So the very first resource is the Quick Start Guide. I would highly recommend downloading this guide and just saving it to your computer. This will pretty much walk you through every feature and functionality of the site with screenshots, step by step. I refer to it, and I train, I still refer to it. It's an awesome guide to just have. We also have this video here. This video is about the things that you must do to get your clients receiving auto emails. And that's a very, very easy process. And then we just have a lot of articles on the far right as well.
May I ask how many pages the Quick Start Guide is? Is it like
I think it's like
printed it?
32.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I like in my hand kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, you can print it out. Thanks. Yeah. We have the video intro to listing management, how to search listings. All of these videos are just excellent. Again, this is like a 101 overview. So at some point you'll want to go in and like watch these additional videos to answer any questions that you may have. So, and I'm sorry, you had a question in the back.
Right, so going back to when you're doing a search, I'm assuming that there's still going to be upgrades and improvements as it goes along.
Yes.
Because I noticed that in the report functions, there are reports in there that, well, there are reports no longer in there
Yeah.
that used to be in there.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
challenging.
Yes, no, we are definitely aware of that, and we have made requests to bring back some of those reports and displays, like the gallery. Like I know that the gallery is gone,
Right.
and a lot of people miss that one.
Maura?
Yeah.
Is there a place to make these suggestions to Bright MLS?
Yes, there is. There is. So if you're contacting customer support, that's something you can bring up right then and there on the phone. There used to be a place where you can email an MRIS. I don't know exactly where that is at this time. But
I sent an email in under support, contact us, and I wrote an email to support.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where I wrote it.
So when you send your email, you can send it there as well. But yeah, we definitely are taking feedback from the field. That's the benefit of us being new, a new company, is that we're at that stage where we can take feedback. We want this to be a pleasurable experience for all of you. I mean, you guys are paying expensive dues, and we know that, and it should be a tool that makes sense for everyone. So we are listening. One of the suggestions that was made repeatedly, and that is now coming back, are the county prefixes. We had received a lot of complaints, a lot of email, almost hate mail to some degree, about the fact that we didn't have that. And so we're bringing it, we've already brought it back, but it's for new listings created on the right system. And it's coming back as a 4-digit character, like 4 characters, so it's state abbreviation, so like VAPW. Or VAFC, you know, whatever the state and county code is. And the reason why we took it away initially was because as we continue to grow and expand, we're going to run into duplicates. We already had duplicates. Montgomery County is also in Pennsylvania, so how will we continue to do that? So the state and the county code is the best way to address it, and it is back.
You know, in terms of, I think, even auto emails that have come up to me, are we showing the right MLS number? And then I see also the same listing with the, you know, either LO or whatever. It's like up there twice because is
So
that happening?
It is twice, so because earlier this year, that's when we made that decision to just go with the 100 number. So we had the old prefix number, and then we had that 100 number, which was very confusing when we would call maybe CSS to make an appointment, a buying, like a showing. It was just very confusing. So now moving forward, eventually, all of those numbers with the 100 will either get sold or something will happen to those listing numbers, and then we'll all be back to
Unless it doesn't close for 2 years.
county prefix numbers.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. And then last but not least, before we dive into searching, is the Bright Premium tab. This is where you guys can go if you have Exact Site. Does anybody have Exact Site or Cloud CMA? Okay, so this is where you would go to access your premium subscriptions from this Bright Premium tab. Okay, so now we're going to move into the search, the searching.
What does that mean? We pay extra for that?
So Exact Site, that would be like your website. Yeah, that's a premium. If you have that, same thing with Cloud CMA. I mean, everybody can do regular CMAs, but Cloud CMA is like a.
Just FYI, loudly is misspelled under residential.
Yeah, I know. Typing fast. I did that. That's actually something that's a new tool that we have, Hot Sheets. And we'll get to that hopefully if we have time at the end of the training. But yeah, this isn't something that you'll see on your computer. This is something that I created.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so if we move into search, I do want to talk a little bit about the property types. The property types are, we made some slight changes to those. So residential sale, residential lease, we've just now split that into 2. If you are, searching for rentals, you'll just come and click lease. If you're searching for sales, you'll just click residential sales.
But you can't cross-search something that's sold and
You
leased?
can. You can do multiple property types at the bottom.
That's not
We
what you
also
taught us
have
last week.
commercial sale and lease. We split those into 2, so it works the exact same way as residential does. Farm is brand new, and business opportunity is brand new. Business opportunity would just be, like, for example, in Neil's building or like in any plaza, there could be restaurants or medical practice. It would be if that medical practice was for sale.
So not the real estate itself, but the business.
Exactly. So that's what business opportunity is. And a lot of times maybe commercial agents will stumble upon these opportunities, or maybe even you all will stumble upon those opportunities. You could refer it out, and that could be another transaction that you could be a part of.
What do you do with vacant land?
I'm sorry?
Vacant land?
It's land.
It's land. Yeah, land is still here. So if we go into residential sale, we'll talk a little bit about some of the new fields here. I know you guys have already logged in, so you may have already be aware of some of these changes. But for example, with county, so when you open up the search page, this is the first page you'll arrive. Since our region is so large now, our region goes all the way from South Jersey all the way down to Virginia. It encompasses 45,000 square miles. You will always need to start with a county. There are some exceptions, but most of the time you will always need to start with a county first. You can have multiple counties. So if you want to search between Prince William or Fairfax, you can put multiple counties in there, but you just need at least one. When you move over to the city field, at that point you can just start typing a city. And it'll start populating different cities for you. Or you can click on the magnifying glass. And the magnifying glass will bring up all of the cities that are nested underneath that one particular county. So if you do it that way, you can go in and just select different cities, or you don't have to use a city at all. You can just search throughout the county that you have selected. Same thing with subdivision. If you click the magnifying glass, it'll bring up all of the subdivisions that are nested underneath one particular county. You can just wait until it gets to the end. Sorry. And then building name works the same way as well. So building name, just to let you know, that is a new field. So if you're ever working with a buyer that knows exactly which condominium building maybe that they want to buy in, you have an option of just searching for the building name. Building name also represents management companies as well as HOA. So if there's ever a time anyone knows what name that is, you can also search for that. This does depend on the listing agent obviously putting that information in. So yeah, that's always the case. That's always going to be the case. But everyone is trained knowing these fields ahead of time. Hopefully they will follow suit. Okay, so the statuses are new. I don't know, did you guys did receive the status cheat sheet?
Yeah, we have it here. Everybody should have it.
Yeah. Very good. Have you guys had a chance to read through it?
Yes.
Any questions about that? Okay, very good. You guys are students. Very good. Okay, so then we'll go right into the rooms then. So just so you know, main level bedroom and main level full bath is now a required field. When you're entering your listing, you'll just have to indicate whether or not it does include a bedroom or a full bath within the property. This does not mean main level master. We are aware of the fact that that is also a need, so that is a field that we are hoping to add.
But couldn't you put master in that room field and level there, and then it would?
You could.
If the lister put it in.
If the lister put it in, but
Correct.
the main level bedroom and bath is what's required to do. So.
Just going back to the status changes for a second, under withdrawn, on the sheet, there's 3 bullets. It's when you change the status in my listings to withdrawn, does it give you the option to select which one of those while you're withdrawing it? Because the option of a contract still exists between the seller and the listing broker would be a great option.
It doesn't give you that, but that's actually a really good suggestion. That's a good suggestion.
That would be really good because it would prevent, unnecessary calls to sellers who temporarily withdraw. So,
I mean, the withdrawn status as a whole is supposed to be a protection status, but it's also just,
yeah, exactly. So that would
Because
be
she's talking about a pocket listing. It does happen.
Yeah.
We would take it out of the system, but we still
Especially
retain
during the holidays.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. That's always the example that I use during the holidays. So no, that's a really good suggestion. I'm sorry. So that's a good question too. Actually, can I just give you my card and you email me that? Yes, your suggestion.
Yeah, I'll email you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the subdivisions, so we do advertise. You will be seeing the advertised subdivision, and then the legal subdivision will be on the tax records. We know that the data for subdivisions and MRIS is
Garbage.
is crappy. We definitely know that. We are still in the process of scrubbing that data because we did not want to move over
We need legal.
crap data from one platform to the other. I have been told that we're going to be adding legal as well. And you'll be able to see legal on the tax record.
Right, but
But
it
I
doesn't
was told
affect
that
searching.
we are going to be adding that field as well. But we are more than aware of the fact that the subdivision data is awful. Mainly because people enter the wrong subdivision, they misspell it.
If you do the drop down menu, you'll see
It's
all the
just,
garbage.
yeah, well, right, exactly. It's awful. But we are in the process of doing that.
And it has to be an exact match, like not just Creighton Farms, but estates at Creighton Farms is what I guess you had listed. So it has to be an exact match too, right?
Yeah, now you can still use the asterisk. A lot of people use the asterisk for the subdivision as well as streets. That's a very popular way to kind of get around that. The asterisk as well as the exclamation point, which works, which means not or to exclude. So those still work the exact same.
So there's not a way for you to just streamline by location, like a house in a certain neighborhood, there's no way for the system, because I think, like you're saying, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, if you don't put the estates of an agent, there's no way that you can just have it be streamlined and be one neighborhood no matter.
We're
Have you done the drop down menu on subdivision? Oh, yeah.
I was
Can't
thinking
believe
about
people type it in there.
yeah, no,
Each
I
bonus
agree.
in this development.
And it's oftentimes, it's just, it's a mess.
On the new system, they don't let you type it out.
They're very careful
You have to
with
pull
that.
it, go get it
Out once.
If you don't,
I mean, there's no point
It's
in us
not there.
upgrading,
you have to call them
spending
and
all
get
this
it
money
out.
on a new system if we're
And you
gonna
have to
put
wait
that
so you
data
can do
over to it, so.
There's a way
You
to
might want to mention that.
Well, I mean, so some of it is extracted from the tax records, when you're adding the listing in, so some of that is, but then some of it isn't, so. But we're working on it, we are aware that it is a problem, so. Okay. One other room I do want to call out that we have added, and we've added a lot of different room options, like bonus room, den was a very popular request. There's a lot of condos that just have a one bedroom den. But another room we did add is in-law au pair suite. So if you do have a house that has that, please list that in your listing so that everyone can search by that. In addition to that, we do have a style guide now so that when you're entering your listing, you are entering your listing as the appropriate architectural style. Not every home cannot be a colonial. Everything is a colonial. Townhouses, things like this, foyer, colonial. So, you know, for people who don't know or just don't have the time to really look it up, or I know some of it is a time factor as well. We do have a style guide that essentially will show you exactly what the correct styles are.
As long as our clients understand that.
Yes, so this is also something you can review with your clients, because a lot of times your clients don't know. Most times they don't know. They may know the basic ones, but they don't know a lot of.
Is it a mandatory field in a listing though? I don't think so.
It's not a mandatory field, but, and that's also a problem in itself. If it was maybe it was a mandatory field, people would care. Take the time to look. So anyway, we do have that style guide. Parking, you now can search directly by the total number of spaces, whether it be garage or non-garage, or attached or detached. We've added senior community as a way to search. Pool, we have community and personal. Some homes have both. Property condition, you can note that as well. There's several to choose from. Do you guys know how to add and remove? Because that has stayed the exact same, adding and removing fields. Okay, very good. That pretty much has stayed the exact same. So,
Okay.
Never mind.
they don't transfer over, but when you add them, it stays the same. So a lot of these processes have remained the same because this is still matrix. This is just the most updated version of matrix. But we were using a very old version, so that's one of the reasons why we are updating.
What about default searches? I mean, I know when I come up, it automatically puts Houghton County.
No,
None of that.
none of your defaults will save. None of your custom, like whatever you have done.
So when you opened
custom,
up and had Fairfax, that's not gonna be there for us?
no, that's there because I created it for training.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is the time where you can go in and create all of those. So you can literally have both windows open and just compare what you have. So what are your custom defaults? Just notate it down and then just set it up in your system.
As a search,
Yeah, whatever your custom, like so as your
Default
custom.
as a
default
default
search.
search, okay.
And it's still the same way. Once you set it up, you hit this gear icon at the top. And then I know you guys can't see it in the back, but it just basically says set current
Oh, I
default.
see.
And then
That's
start it up.
the same thing.
It's the same thing, it's the exact same process. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a search, what search results look like. I'm just gonna take a search that I ran a couple of days ago. And we still have the recent search drop down in the top right corner, and it goes back for your last 50 searches. Yeah. So that is still the same. So as you can see, after you run a search, it will take you to this page here, and this looks very similar to what you guys see today in MRIS. I mean, it works in the same way. Same thing with custom displays. So once you do run your search and you get to the results, you still have the ability to customize what your columns are going to look like. And the way you do that, you guys already know how to do that.
Yeah, but is it the same as one?
It's the same. It's the exact same. You insert the column that you are looking for or that you feel is missing. So some people may want to add square feet or maybe parking spaces. You can add that.
And then you save the entire,
And then you save the entire.
okay.
Yeah. So it works in the same fashion. Okay, so what I will show you then are all the new things that we've added, since pretty much the look of it has remained the same. We've changed our colors, but the look of it pretty much has remained the same. So these icons, I don't know if you guys can see this way in the back, or maybe you've already seen it. These icons are all new, and these icons represent the embedded tools that we now have on the new platform. So if we look at this top listing here, you're working with a buyer, and the buyer wants to know some information of the property history. You no longer have to go searching for it all over the site. It's just now built into every one of these listings. So you just click on the H icon, and it'll bring up the property history. So you'll see the property history, the MLS history, and no, but there's a place that you can go do that. So that's just going directly to that first icon on the listing, and that's the H1.
And the clients can see that as well. I can click on it.
They can't see it here. This would be something like if they asked you.
And if you just email them the listing, there's not an icon for them.
I have to go and check. They have access to some of those tools. I can't remember if that's one of them, but they do have access to some of those tools. But we are moving to that section momentarily. The second icon looks like a little government building. That's for tax records. So it works in the same way. It'll bring up all of the tax record for that particular listing. So you'll have the assessment and tax information here. It'll just give you a summary, building characteristics, code, of course, the MLS history will still be there, the tax history, sale and mortgage, and flood report.
Can we print from there or just view from there?
So you can print. Okay, thanks. So then the next icon,
Tax map.
that's the tax map, if it's available. They're not always available, but that is the tax map.
Now, I'm not saying, but if you hover over these icons, will it give you?
Yes, it'll give you a description, yes. This one, I believe, I can't even see that
It says
one.
connection,
It says
search to
assessment.
Arlington County
Yes,
tax website.
right, so it'll take you directly to, thank you, to the tax website. So it'll just take you to wherever the county of the listing is, that particular website. If you need more information, the Apple works for schools. It'll take you to the county school website. But there's also another place that you can find schools too. The newspaper. The newspaper will take you to community information. So you'll be able to find just demographics about housing, people, economy. The schools tab will also pull up the schools that are nearby the listing down at the bottom. This is awesome information too that you can print out and get it directly to your client should they ask or have a question about it. They also have access to this one. They definitely have access to this icon too.
Just
Well, they'll have access to this when we get to the client portal, so they can do whatever they want to do with it at that point too. But yes. And then the $B$ and the $S$, nobody seems to use close it in this room, but I'll just show you one of them so that you can see essentially how it works. The seller net sheet. So essentially what it's doing is extracting the information directly from the listing. So if you're working with a seller and you want to prepare an estimate of what their proceeds are or will be, this will be the tool that you would use. It's going to eventually extract the transfer taxes and annual taxes, and you'll just have to go in and fill in the settlement date, your brokerage commission, as well as if there's any seller subsidy. You'll add that information in, and then it'll generate a PDF. Then at that point, you can email directly to the client and print it out.
You said eventually?
Yeah, the transfer taxes, we are supposedly getting that by mid-November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so by the time you guys launch, that feature should be up and running. So that's, I guess, the benefit of being one of the last groups to convert, because nobody has it as of this point.
There's no
And it's a major
taxes, school
pain.
taxes in there or any of that stuff, so is it not working just yet on yours? See, there's no taxes in there.
Yeah, so some of these things you will have to fill in. It's only gonna fill in select fields. The transfer taxes, I know, is one of them. Some things you'll just have to add, and that's why we stress that this is an estimate.
Right, and I have used it, and I've used the app, actually, and the only other thing, just for everybody in the room, it does not include any title fees.
Yeah.
So you have to enter in your own, estimate of
It's an
title
estimate.
work. And associated fees.
Yeah, so anything that it doesn't extract, you'll have to fill those fees in. The buyer closing cost works in the same fashion. It's going to extract that information, and then you'll have to go in and enter the fields that it does not complete, like the buyer's name, settlement date, and so forth. Do you guys use rate plug? No? Okay. Let's get past that one. What about zip forms? Oh, you use rate plug?
No.
Oh, you have a question?
When you print out a report for listing, can you print out all that information in one report?
Oh yeah, you can. That's an excellent question. I'll show you that next. Excellent question. Zip forms, you guys use that? You
No,
guys
because
use that?
we're using the proprietary software
Okay,
for contracts.
okay. Well, for this, I've only had like a few offices that
Yeah.
use it. It
The
is
big,
integrated,
us
but
big, the big ones never.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not updated, I don't think,
I don't think it's updated.
like
there.
the
We
big
use that
brokerages.
with-
Yeah,
So we let our
Right.
contracts just say LNF on it.
yes.
And then Remind, have you guys had Remind training? Are you
Yeah.
familiar with it at all?
Yes.
No? Oh.
Like half and half.
Oh, yeah, in Warrenton. Oh, so Remind is an integrated tool that's built right into the system for the people who know what it is. For the people who don't know what it is, Remind is a predictive analytics tool. It works well for anyone who does farm, for anyone who does do farming in a neighborhood or door knocking, mailers, whatever. It just gives you a very good insight of any particular neighborhood or subdivision that you might be wanting to target. Information such as how long they've lived there,
Income,
how much
I think,
equity.
right?
It's everything.
It's everything.
But it's chargeable, like,
It is.
it's a pay for service.
It's a paid service.
Well, no. Everyone gets
Everyone gets the
everyone
free.
gets the starter kit of 100 records.
Yeah.
So 100 homes or properties that you are targeting, everyone gets that. You could get, the way you could get potentially more is to download those 100 records, export it into a spreadsheet, come back in, clear those 100 records, and then do it again. But to get like more services, more features, that's when you would go to the Plus package or the Pro package. It does give a seller score. The higher the score, means the more likely that person, that property is to sell. If you wanted buyer analytics, then that's when you would get another package. But I just want everyone to just start off with the starter kit. Hopefully are you just starting off with the starter kit? Yeah. It's free, test it out. You have nothing to lose. And it just comes with your membership. So read mine, it'll just take you directly to that particular listing that you're looking at, and I'll just show you briefly what it looks like for the people who have not seen it. So it essentially just pulls up the listing.
Excuse me, how do you get to Remind?
It's a little Remind icon at the in the listing.
No,
So if you go back to it's the very last one. Yep. The last one. That's how you get it. Okay, so now let me show you the report. So that is a really good report to see, to know. We have a report called the Agent 360 Property Report. And this gentleman asked, is there a way that we can just see all of those things in one? And this is the way that you could. So for the Agent 360, it just gives you that total view of everything. You can print this report out, or obviously you can just review all those different tabs at the top.
But you can print the whole thing.
You can print the whole thing.
How do you print the whole thing? I didn't find that.
So at the bottom here, we have print.
And that prints the whole report, not just the tabs. Oh, you click up. Yeah, and you make, okay, that's fine. All right.
And then you select which tabs you want.
Print all tabs, so then you would select all tabs to get the whole report on that property. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to move to the map. The map functionality. So the map in itself, just so you know, has stayed the exact same. I don't know how deep you all use the map. Do you guys do you work with the map quite a bit? Do you guys do radius searches?
But can't you draw a little bit differently on this one?
You can still do like the polygon search. Do you guys do that? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You use boundaries, layers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all of that is still there. All of that has remained the same. We did add one new field, or I'm sorry, one new feature, and it's called drive time. And it's the very first icon is actually next to the radius. So if you click on that, this will give you the ability to, you're squinting, I'm sorry.
That's me and my stupid glasses.
Oh.
Yeah, you're fine.
Let's see if I can.
No, it's okay.
So this does give you the ability to, respond when that client says, oh, my next house needs to be 45 minutes from my job, or whatever the maximum drive commute is, or commute time is. So obviously you need to find out where they work. You want to get that address of where they work. You also want to find out what time they have to be at work, and then what their maximum commute is. And then so this platform, MRIS, they are the technology behind it. They pretty much come up with an average. They take averages of traffic throughout a year, which does include all the seasonal variations that we have with traffic and weekends and all of that. And then they produce out, they kick out what would be the houses that kind of fit within that area. So this would be after you've already put in all of the criteria. So whatever the buyer's price range is, what they're looking for a home, then you would do this, and this would just kind of narrow it down even further. So I'll just show you how it works. So essentially, it will kind of like define that radius, that area, based around the fact that this particular buyer needs to get to Arlington within 45 minutes. So based on the criteria that we've already put in, like their price range and bedrooms and all of that, those are the houses that meet their need.
Wait, so it creates that design?
Uh-huh.
It creates, not us. You
You put in those, yeah, you compute.
it just puts that wall.
So with the time, so it's saying the drive time, but does it take into account time of day?
It does, because you're putting in that time.
You
But
put in an
it's-
address and then you
Right.
put it in a target place they're gonna go, is that what you're saying?
You want to put their work address in.
They're saying, I wanna be 20 minutes from Arlington, so then you put it in and it gives you a radius.
That's, yeah, I think that's just part of the
Oh,
price, so let me
Oh, I don't
zoom
even know
out
two
a
houses.
bit now. So those are all of the houses that are kind of like in that area, it defines that area for you, yes.
So how often would something like this be updated as far as if someone's interested in buying a property in a new build area, maybe it's not in there. It's like, how often is that gonna be addressed and updated?
Right, I mean, this is real-time updates, but to your point, new construction does take time to appear on a map.
Right.
That's not necessarily, unless it's,
Right.
you know,
So maybe just plug in an address that's near it.
well, you're plugging in their work address.
Right, but to their home, possibly they say, you're from out of town and they wanna buy somewhere.
Right.
Like I've worked with clients that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
How long is that gonna take to drive? So you just
Absolutely.
pick an address that's nearby.
Put an address that's nearby, but new construction, that's more so up to the builder. And there's a lot of factors that go into how,
Right.
when a new community is gonna end up on that.
Right.
So when I pull this, I don't have the option of showing time. Is that something that
Yeah, showing time is still there.
We just don't have it because we're not active.
You guys are in preview.
we're not active?
Yeah, you guys are
I
in a
see.
preview mode.
I see, okay.
Also, do you have the, is it in the bottom, because I can't see the directions, if you have a search, you can still do directions.
Yes,
Right.
directions is there, yeah. So, in this particular example, those are all of the houses that meet the criteria that that buyer is looking for. So just like you would at that point with the radius search, you can then click back on the results tab, and it essentially will bring up all of those listings if you're on the agent online display. And then you can email them to the buyer and say, hey, these are all of the houses that not only meet your criteria, they're also 45 minutes away from your job.
Okay.
And then from there, you can email them, and then you can set up your auto email or do whatever you do, like you normally would at that point. So this is just another
auto email, it'll pop up a new one in tomorrow.
Yeah. So this is just like another filter, if you will, to drill down in. So, okay, so we are now going to move into the My Listings piece. All right, so again, to get to your listings, you're just going to click the My Listings tab. And you're going to do Add Edit Listings. And if you have listings, it's going to take you to this point here where you'll be able to see all of your listings on one screen. So in this particular case, I have 22 listings. So one of the things that we've done is we've increased the amount of time that we give you to get your listing in. With MRIS, it's 14 days. Now it's 30 days. So, I mean, if you get a listing and you're going on vacation or you still haven't scheduled a photographer or just all the things that come with getting a listing ready, you have 30 days to get it in, essentially, and get it up and running. If you have multiple listings, you still can go in and just do quick edits to any of your listings at any given time. You would do that simply by clicking Edit, or you could go to the More tab. And the More tab allows you to make very, very quick updates by just adding in photos, or maybe you just need to upload your disclosures or maybe change a disclosure. we're at an open house. You can easily get in and out to do that. In addition to that, we do have the profile sheets available for you. Do you guys use profile sheets now as you're queuing up your listing? Okay. I will say this, it might be a good idea for you to go in and just print out one profile sheet. We have them separated for every single category. So if you're doing a rental, you'd want to use a rental one, sale, use a sale one. But I would say just print out one, because a profile sheet is an excellent way to learn what the new required fields are. I use profile, I use them all the time. Like, it just helps you to, when you're doing your walkthrough at the seller's home, it helps you to make sure you get all of the information on that one visit, as opposed to having to keep calling the seller. You get everything that you need on that one time. Check off all of the inclusions, what they have in the home, and so forth.
Do they still use abbreviations, so if you give it to the seller and say, mark what's here?
Yeah,
they'll
sometimes people do
understand
that.
what SCD means?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we typed it out.
Yeah, some of them, most of them are typed up, yeah, because you're right. Most of the buyers do not understand that jargon.
Or sellers.
Or sellers, I'm sorry, sellers don't. The public does not understand it, period. Yes, that is one way you could do it. Some people do give it directly to the seller. That is one way. I usually just kind of mark it off as I'm walking around touring. But this is shorter. Before it was, well, you guys never used them, so you wouldn't have known, but it was a much longer document. It's now only 8 pages. In the future, we are planning to make this an interactive tool. So if you do have a tablet and you're doing that walkthrough, you'll have the ability to go around and check it off on your tablet, and then it'll be updating the listing on the live site. So that is coming soon, and we're excited about that, because that will also be a time saver. So print this one out, or just at least save it to your computer, so that you'll know what the required fields are. So now we're going to go into adding a new listing, and the way you do that is just by clicking on that orange button. And it will take you to this screen here, and it's going to ask you what type of property is it. So you'll just select whatever type of property it is. Based on what you select, it's going to kick out only the relevant fields to that property type. So if we do a residential sale, it's going to immediately ask you, what is the structure type? Is it detached? Is it semi-detached? Is it a row townhouse? You'll select the one that fits your listing. Same thing with ownership interest. We'll select that. And then you hit next. So at this point, you have to now, it's now going to ask you to find the tax record, which is what we do now in the MRIS system. If you have the tax ID, you can just put that in and just easily.
Will it go get it?
It will go get it if you put the tax ID in. If you don't have the tax ID, you can just start putting in the address. I pretty much do the same address every time for training. Then once you type in the address, you hit search. And then it'll populate the tax record for you. From there, you want to make sure that it matches on the map. Sometimes the pin may be in the wrong place. If that's the case, you can just move the pin in itself and then just drop it to where it needs to go. And then you'll hit next.
If a listing doesn't have a tax number, sometimes you have those.
Yes, you can move forward. There was a place
you
that
can.
Yeah, move forward. And then it'll take you to a screen like this where it will ask you to select all of the characteristics that apply to your listing. Now, if none of this applies, then you can just move on without it. But if it does, then you would just select whatever it is. So do HOA and then move on. So this is where you'll enter all of the basic information, like the list price of the home. The status, is it active or is it coming soon? the listing agreement type. And then when does the listing term begin?
So you guys you can't copy from a regular listing into a lease listing.
You can still copy, but it has to be the same property type.
Right, so are you guys gonna fix that, so if a property goes rental, is that on your list?
That is definitely a suggestion that we've had come up multiple times.
Okay.
I don't know where we are with that. I'll bring it up.
Because you'd have to re-enter it twice if they wanted to list it for rent.
Exactly, yeah. But it is a suggestion that's come up before. And then at this point, it takes you to a screen that should be very familiar, because we still use those same red bubbles, which indicate, how many fields that you have to, that are required per that category. So then you'll just go through. You can still tab down by clicking Control I. Control I will take you to the next required field. So you'll do expiration date. You'll answer these questions. Is it a short sale? Is it a Rio? All of those questions. And you'll just move through the list. You can also search for a field. You just want to quickly get to a field. If maybe you're just making an edit, you just want to quickly get into that one particular field, you can search for the field at the top. If we go to features and rooms, this is where you'll come to add whether or not, if there is a main level bedroom or if there's a main level bath. This is the section that you'll do that in. I will let you know with photos and remarks, we have increased the limit on both of those areas. So for photos, you now have up to 150 photos.
Wow.
Yeah, up to. You don't have to take pictures of all the faucets and the toilets. You don't have to do that. But you still want to have very impactful, beautiful photos. And most people are going to have probably between 30 and maybe 40 photos. We do have more for those business opportunities, and some commercial properties might require more. But it can go up to 150. With remarks, remarks has also increased. You no longer have to do those abbreviations
4,000.
that nobody understands. This bedroom, there's so many different abbreviations.
So how many characters did it go?
4,000.
Oh, it's almost unlimited then.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
From 300 to 4,000?
From 400.
It went to 390.
You're definitely backwards.
But
400.
what I will say is this, so we wanted to eliminate all of those crazy abbreviations, but you still don't necessarily need to have 1,000 characters, because when we do syndicate to those other sites, they're going to have their own different caps and limits.
And now, how do you know on those sites, is it going to be the first, if it's 400 on some,
It's usually 400.
the first 400 are gonna go?
Depending on the site, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
usually
thought.
400 is usually the limit for most. So I'll still make it impactful. I mean, you can still be impactful, but we can see up to 4,000 on our end. For our synopsis type reports, for our synopsis type reporting, or anything that we're printing out and giving to the customer, that is going to be the 400 cap. It's actually 397 cap. So to ensure that we're not printing out 10 pages. So you'll always be able to see it on the site, but you don't necessarily have to print out all 4,000 characters on the site. So just wanted to point that out to you. One of the fields that's required, that I'll just go ahead and tell you now, is the federal flood zone. That is now a required field. You probably have already heard about it on the listing management piece. So some may say, well, how am I going to find out if it's a flood zone, federal flood zone? There's a couple of ways on MLS, but one way that you can definitely tell is by clicking either yes or no. A box is going to pop up, like so.
There's a link in there.
And there's a link in there. Trouble with the mouse pad, but there's a link in there that takes you directly to the FEMA site, and you'll have to enter the property address. And Yes, so you click this link at the bottom here, and that link will take you to the FEMA site, and you just punch in the address of the property, and it'll tell you yay or nay if it's in that zone or not. This is how you'll find out.
Now, when we're entering listings and we come to one that doesn't have our homeowners association, let's just say, we have to get you guys to add it. We no longer can type in the name of the homeowners association. That's what we were taught last week. Is that true?
Wait, they told you that last week at training?
Mm-hmm. You can't type it in anymore. You have to pick from the field that's dropped down.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's not there, you have to call in. So you can't put a listing in on when you guys are closed.
Yeah.
And we have to wait for you to add it.
Right.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about the FEMA flood zone? So if I have a 9-acre property and I have an acre of it in the flood zone, that's gonna populate it as a FEMA flood?
Probably so. I don't know that to be 100% true, but probably I can find out.
Okay.
But I haven't had that question.
Why did they add, I mean, that's a huge liability for us.
Yeah, no, I understand. It is.
If you put in yes or no, so if you put it, so you should put in yes and check it then.
Yeah, you should check it for every single property.
But I would like to know because that would not be a lender requirement, but if the other agent doesn't know what they're looking at, then they're gonna maybe skip that and say, well, I can't get flood insurance on that.
So with the 4,000 characters, you can explain it.
You can put it in the agent. Yeah. In the reverse. You have a lot of characters that is found in that. That's an interesting question. I haven't ran into that.
That more like on rural properties, so you
Yeah,
have 20
rural
acres.
Or waterfront properties, or waterfront properties.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna scare somebody away and it might be.
Because if they're searching no flood zone, they won't even call on your house.
Right.
That's what.
What's your name?
Shannon.
So that way I can follow.
Is there any way they could say if the structure is in the flood zone versus just property?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. I will, if that's a question that you want answer to, I have to get back to you on that. This was a decision that was made by upper management when we joined. So this was obviously something that they used. This was a field that they used in our other area. Now that we're combined, now it's required for our entire region.
Because we have bar properties that might have like out on Bryan Creek that might flood.
Yeah.
They've been rezoned by.
Yeah, a lot of things have been rezoned absolutely.
So to get that people, you have to actually click yes or no. It's not
Yeah.
automatically necessary. But it
You
looks
have to answer the question anyway. So
Okay, it's required.
It's required. It's a required field. And so that's actually a good point, just so you guys know. We are moving over all of your active listings from MRIS over to the new system. This is a field along with all of the other required fields, and you'll have to go in and update.
And if you don't get to it right away, what will happen?
It's not so much you have to do it as soon as we move it over.
Okay,
It's when you have to go back into your listing and
Yeah.
make an update. Then it's not going to let you out of the listing until you update the field. So, and this is one that, this is pretty much the biggest change. This is the one that everyone has questions about. So it's important that we show you guys how to use the tool to obtain that information. So, okay, if there aren't any more questions, we're going to move over to the last part. We've got 7 minutes, and we will get all of this, pretty much get to it. So, okay, so we're going to move into the client portal now. Have you guys had a chance to explore this tab much at all? Okay, so we are, like I said, we are moving over your contacts, and they pretty much should have moved over at this point. So I'm going to show you what the client portal looks like from your client's perspective. We'll just go to newness here. So open the portal. My picture is really big. Yours probably won't be this big, but my photo is huge. So when you set someone up on an auto email, they are going to, after they opt in, because they will have to opt in one time because this is a new website. After they opt in, it's going to take them to the portal. And the portal, again, will be branded to you if you set up a header, if you went through the steps of adding your photo and all the steps that we talked about in the beginning. It will be branded to you. So when they arrive there, of course, they'll have your information as my agent. And then they'll have messages waiting for them. And the messages waiting for them will be the auto emails. So they can go to any of these messages and click on the link, and it will immediately take them to their list of listings that match their criteria. So they'll come in like this, where all the properties will be on the right side, and they can see the properties on the map. But if they don't like that view, they have options. They can go in and change it to a gallery style as well.
So this lets us see their perspective.
Yes, it does. It does give us.
But if I thought their favorites and things were not going to transfer.
They're not.
So they're gonna have to go back and look at everything that we previously sent them and re-favorite it?
Yes, they will, unfortunately. Or you'll have it. If you go in now and start notating what they've done, you can do that as well.
So we have to print off each person, have it somewhere, and then.
Maybe you have it in a cart or.
Yeah, so I was trying. Well,
yeah, what I did was I dropped mine in carts.
That's right.
I dropped mine in carts before I moved over, and I also just did screenshots of it. I just took it with my phone. Yeah. That was actually easier. At first, I was like dropping them in carts, and then I just started doing screenshots of it.
So the existing auto emails, are they going to have to? They just transfer over and they'll stop it until they go back
until you switch them over. And if we have time, I can show you guys how to do that. If we don't, I'll definitely show you where the video is where you can watch the video. So if we can just hold all the questions, because we've got 5 minutes and I want to make sure you guys see this section. So if we click on one of the listings that you sent over to them, they will obviously be taken to the listing page of the property. They can go in and add a note. So just like before, they can type notes and you can respond to the notes. You still have that ability. Somebody asked in the back, and I think that lady might be gone now, do they have access to the same tools that we have access to?
Well, it's going to default to customer view, right?
Yeah.
Remember how like in the old days, whatever you send, it defaults to that.
Exactly.
Which eliminates some of that.
It does.
Which is.
So those are some of the icons. So I think somebody asked, will they have property history? They don't have property history, but they do have tax records. They have school information, and they have community information. They can also look at their virtual tour. And they can also get directions as well. You know, they can save their favorites. You'll still see that. You'll have access to that. One of the new things that we have given our buyers, or whomever is created an email for, is the ability to start a new search. So currently, right now, buyers are doing a lot of searching on Zillow, and we know how accurate that can be, or how inaccurate that can be. They're searching on Redfin. Love Redfin. They're searching on Realtor. They're just searching everywhere else. We wanted to give them the ability to search directly from the same site that we use. So they can do that if they have access to the portal. And they get access to the portal through the auto email. So this is the search menu. This is what the search menu looks like on their end. And they have access to some of the same fields. I mean, not all of them, but they have access to a lot of the same fields that we have access to. And this just serves as a supplemental search. It does not take the place of the auto emails that you have created for them. This is just in addition to that.
Do we know if
the
they've
cool
done
thing
that?
about it is we have line of sight to it.
Okay.
So we will receive a notification. If you see that, wow, okay, they've increased their budget by $50,000. Oh, okay, that's cool. They might want to reach out. If they've increased their budget by $50,000, you still might want to reach out. But you still have access to all of the searches that they're doing, and it could prompt a phone call if necessary. they can save the search and they can come back to the search each time they come to the portal. We have PDFs. We have a flyer that you can email to them, explaining to them what the new benefits are of the portal. If you don't want to email it and you want to have that conversation in person, maybe the next time you're doing showings, you can do that as well. So this is the portal experience, and all of their searches will populate there, and then their favorites will populate there as well.
So you got there through what? Hitting that name of the contact?
The name of the the name of the contact, yeah, and then open the portal.
Okay.
May I make a quick suggestion? So I'm gonna enter myself, my personal email as a client, and I'm gonna play around with this and send it to myself. And then I'm gonna go in and pretend that I'm my client. And then I think, that's a great way to see what they're receiving, see what they can do, and learn what they're gonna see, because they're gonna ask us possible questions.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah, you should definitely do
Yeah,
that.
I
I had
know with
searches.
Moxie
I had searches anyway. But
Yeah.
But you can definitely.
It's a great way to know what they're doing, what they can see, and then what you're seeing.
Exactly. Great suggestion. So I do want to talk to you a little bit about another new tool that we have called Email Concierge. Have you guys heard about that, or?
Yeah.
She knows about it at the top. The lady up here. So Email Concierge works hand in hand with auto email. It would be for that buyer that is particular, to say the least. Maybe you have them on a search for a 4-bedroom colonial in Meseberg and Ashburn for $800,000 and less. But maybe you also know that they only want a brick colonial. They don't want any colonials with any aluminum siding. Email Concierge gives you the ability to approve and reject listings before your client even receives them. So it just helps to keep them happy, engaged.
Also, for listing agents who don't do it accurately.
Yes.
You can weed out the junk.
You can weed out the junk, exactly. If you have somebody on Concierge, you'll be alerted each day. When you log in, and I'll show you where you'll see that. You'll be alerted each day if there are listings available for you to approve and reject. This is not something that you want to do for every single buyer, because you'll have to go in and approve and reject every single listing, but you all will know which of your clients will require that level of care, and the way you can do that is through Concierge. And I use that as an example because that is a real life example that I have. So many people don't want siding. So, and it works in anything. It could be anything. Like they're looking for a house with a fenced-in yard. So you can go in and pull out all the ones that don't have the fenced-in yard, or whatever the case may be.
And where do you turn on concierge?
So
Where do you come in?
There's your in
Oh, it's under
contact.
clients.
I know what the concierge is, but how do you make it go into there?
so it's when you're setting up your auto email.
Oh, okay, and since we don't have any auto emails right now, we don't have it.
Right.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
So we'll give you a
You
whole
can
list.
find you can, there's a video that shows you how to set up email concierge underneath the conversion information. So when you guys do go live, you can go back.
So it would list all your auto email clients or contacts, and you would go in there and just fine tune it.
If you go in and set up an auto email now in Bright, it won't go out, it won't start till the other one shuts off, right?
Yes, correct.
So I could go ahead and start doing it.
If you shut the other one off, will it start now? Or we don't
No.
It's not, nothing's gonna be shut off until you.
Yeah, but I mean, if we want to, like I have one that wants to go on today, auto email. Can I go into Bright and do it now and then start sending it?
No, because you're still in premium.
Yeah, I can't even go in and start setting them up.
The only thing that you can really do now, like your custom displays, like the custom stuff, just
Yeah.
setting
Yeah, you
contacts,
can't
you're
do
just kind of
much.
setting up like the background of things. Like,
Do you guys have a form letter that we can send to people that are on our auto
it
email?
automatically populates for you. It's just one that pops up each time, so you don't have to keep. I used to have to copy and paste the same thing every time.
I mean, right now, to tell them this is happening and then.
It's coming ahead, coming next week.
Yeah, we have a
Weekend.
flyer that I can, that's underneath the conversion information link. Conversion information, you go here. So let me get through the rest of it, and then if time, we're already over. Do you guys want to see the rest? We're over
Yeah,
at this
we're
point.
fine.
We have maybe like 5 more minutes, and then I can show you like some of the one-off questions that you guys have. Okay, so the very last few things, I just want to show you the last 3 new tools. We also have what's called reverse prospecting. Have you guys heard about that? So have you attended another? Oh, sorry, you attended another training. Yeah, so I say other markets have it. So when we did this update, we wanted to make sure that we brought out some tools that everybody else has. So yeah, would you like to tell me about it?
There you go.
Okay, so reverse prospecting is an awesome tool and it works very well if you're on the listing side, but you know it also works well too if you're on the buyer agent side. But essentially, as a listing agent, you will be able to see from a high level view in the area which of the agents have received your listing, maybe their contacts. Let me back up. As a listing agent, you'll be able to see the agents that have buyers or prospects that have received your listing. So it allows you to be proactive. You'll never get the contact information, so you'll never get the buyer's agents, client's information. That's confidential. But what you will see are all of the agents in any given market who have contacts who receive your listing. So it allows you to be proactive and reach out to them and find out, did you show the property? Did they like it? Or we're having an open house that's coming up, or some people use it to communicate that the price has now been improved. But it just really allows you to just kind of take it one step further, nurture relationships with other agents, and hopefully get your listing sold much faster. On the buyer's side, so on your side, or whatever side you're on at that particular time, you are the one that will determine whether or not your contact will be a part of the reverse prospecting program. So each time you add a new contact in, at the top right corner of the box, it will be checked. It will say enable reverse prospecting. That is default, so it's automatically going to be checked. So all of your contacts that moved over, all of your contacts were automatically checked for reverse prospecting. So the, permission resides with all of the agents. You will determine whether or not you want that particular contact to be in the reverse prospecting program. If you ever have had a listing, you will see the benefits. You'll know the value of having this information. So if you ever have had a listing, then you will probably likely just keep your contacts in that program because it's such a phenomenal program to have. That's information, that's awesome information to have. But it does start with you. It does start with you when you're entering in a new contact. You'll just check whether or not you want that contact to be in the program or not.
And what you will see is all the listings, the agents,
you'll just see the agents
that your client has received listings from.
And I usually,
or what they've the favorite.
You're going to see that Joyce Bush sent a listing to her client.
it's a client, right? And
If you have a
on
listing,
email,
you're going to see that I sent that listing to her. Not to anybody. You're just going to see that I sent it out. And you're going to be able to send me an email going, hey, Joyce, I noticed you sent my listing to your client. Is there anything I can do to give you information? And you'd be able to tell your client, seller, that your listing has been sent out by 15 agents.
Including auto email?
Yes, everything.
A little bit.
The only reason, it depends. If she says it works well, I think it would take a dedication on everybody's part to enable it.
No, it's auto set.
It's auto set.
No. You have to enable. If she's my client, I have to say
initially.
Yes, when I put her in, that you are gonna, that's gonna tell you.
But when it transfers your information over, it'll automatically be.
They're all clicked right now.
all clicked.
Yeah.
So we have to go in and unclick them if we don't want to be a part of it. Right.
Well, why would you want to unclick it, is my question.
Yeah.
If you don't want a bunch of emails in your
Yeah,
box.
it's gonna be inundated with emails.
I haven't been inundated. I've probably have gotten
Most late agents are too lazy, Mary. No, that's the honest truth.
No, it is.
Let's be honest.
It is.
Like, right, we're all
I haven't
agents.
gotten any phone calls.
People don't
I've
check.
gotten maybe
Really?
3 or
Right.
4 emails.
Well, it's also very
Usually-
new, so maybe they're not even.
It's usually
on board yet.
to let me know that it's a price.
Listing Book used to do something like that, remember? It would say 18 people are searching for a house that meets that criteria.
Yeah.
But you had to pay
But
it.
you're right, most agents.
They won't do
I
it.
mean,
They won't
have
do it.
all the things that we have to do. So, anyway, but I did want to let you know what it is, so in case you guys saw it, and you're like, okay. And then the last two new tools that we have are underneath the My Dashboard. This My Dashboard is completely underneath the Client tab. So if you click on My Dashboard, it will take you to the Agent Dashboard. That's what we call it. So this in itself, like this screen should look similar or remind you of your current Agent Dashboard. So you'll find a lot of the same information. You'll see the contacts that recently visited the portal. You'll also see contacts. You'll see what they're doing, like are they saving favorites or how many favorites have they saved, that kind of information. You'll also see your carts. You'll see your favorite searches at the top. And then
your hot sheets.
And then, right, those are the last new tools. So do you remember that from the training?
She didn't touch it.
Oh, probably ran out of time.
Yeah, her computer crashed for 20 minutes.
Oh, wow, okay. Is it about this?
So do you have a watching listing? We used to have watching listing.
No, we don't have that. Market Watch is kind of that, but
what did you say?
Watch
a listing.
Oh, gotcha.
Market Watch is kind of that, but that is something that we're trying to figure out a way to bring back because that was a very popular tool.
Yeah.
But Market Watch, I'll talk to you a little bit about that. So Market Watch is essentially it's an awesome tool, and you should probably check it out every single day. But it gives you like the macro view of inventory that is available in your region at any given time.
And it's from our region, like, what is our
Let me
region?
get through it.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm probably going to answer your question. It has pre-default links such as what are all of the new listings in your region, or what are all the listings that just have price decrease, or what are the listings that have price increase, or what are all of the listings that are now back on the market. At any given time, you can click on any of those links and you'll get that information very quickly. The cool thing about it is that you can customize your market. So your market is going to be different than his market. Everyone's market is going to be different, and it depends on where you're licensed and what areas that you do business. You can go and customize your market, whether by county. You can customize your market by city. It's up to you. I mean, it's completely up to you how you define your market. It's going to be based on what areas do you want to keep tabs on? What areas do you want to be an expert in and monitor?
Can you have multiple?
Yeah, you can do multiple ones.
You can save.
What else? Another thing that you can do is, so a lot of times you want to know the new listings that have popped up maybe in a 3-day period, or what are all the new listings that have popped up in a 24-hour period. You can change your time frame too. So it can go from 24 hours to 7 days. So that's going to depend, different seasons, like in the summertime.
So if you go in and customize it, it saves it. Once you save it, it stays, and that's what becomes your Market Watch.
Yes.
Okay. And you can have one of them?
Several.
You can have several. You can have up to 10.
How do you do more than one?
So I'm getting there. Okay. Let me just get through this piece, and then you can just answer all of your questions.
I'll put it on my question.
And then, so hot sheets work in the same way, and this is the last piece of today's training. Hot sheets work in the same way. Hot sheets drill down even deeper into a Market Watch. So again, a Market Watch is like that macro level. It's going to have all listings. It's going to have residential, commercial. It's just going to have everything, all the inventory in your market. A hot sheet, however, will drill down even further. So if you guys, do rural, you guys do rural or not rural, but farm or land, or is anyone doing commercial in here? Okay, so you all may want to create a separate farm one. You might want to keep that separate from residential. It just allows you to kind of keep tabs on that particular category. So again, you can customize this one, and this is why Loudon is spelled incorrectly, because I just went in one day in training, was typing fast, and I created a Loudon residential one, just like I've done an Annapolis one, a Charles County one. So you can have different ones based on whatever your area is. And the same thing, you customize it, you select whatever it is that you want to have a hot sheet for. You can go to edit criteria. You can select what it is that you're looking for. You can even drill down by structure type. Are you looking to keep tabs on detached farms or detached residentials? You can even do it that way. Change type. You can select that. Again, you can also select county, you can select city, and then you hit save.
And then you can add fields on the bottom.
Yeah, you can add fields to it as well.
Okay.
So you can really
And then where do you
customize
name it?
these. So
I just can't find where you, oh, down there where.
yeah, it was like right below where it said rename. Go back to
How should you type, okay, name it too.
So rename, so it's a farm, rename.
Well, that's rename, but if you had clicked save, would it just ask you for a name as well? No?
Say that again.
Sorry.
Yeah, at the bottom.
If you hit save, it would have asked you for a name.
Okay. So you could just do like Leesburg Farm or whatever you want to do. Save. And it will pop up right there, and then you can sort them, you can move them up, you can move them down, you can delete these.
And you have 10 of those.
You have 10 of them, yeah. That is it. This is also one of our new tools, and you guys will probably start using these very quickly. Again, now's the time to play around with this. The thing is, in your preview mode, you're not going to see your data. You're not going to see like Leesburg data at this point in time, but you can play around with it with Fairfax County, like that area that's attached to NVAR. In the preview mode, behind the scenes, you're still moving over all of your data, so you're not going to see those things at this point in time. But the preview period does give you the ability to just search. You can start doing some searches in other parts of Virginia. You can kind of play around with the listings. You can do like a dummy listing, play around with it. Regarding the listings, I did forget to mention, you don't have to save, like keep things saved like you used to. It's auto-saving. And then it no longer says submit to MLS. It just says publish. So it's auto-saving. It's kind of nice.
That's interesting. So until you hit publish, it'll be in there for that 30 days.
Yeah.
It'll save it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? One thing that MRIS used to do is 5 days before a listing expired, it sent us a reminder notice. We don't have that capability with Bright. Can you please ask them?
Yes,
Or if they could also on the dashboard page where it says my listings, like maybe highlight it in red when it gets to 5 days.
That is a good idea.
Would
You guys have
be
great
very
suggestions. You guys are an advanced group.
You're welcome.
You guys have really good suggestions.
Or yeah, if it's a violation, maybe put it like, you're listing, you go in there and you see it's red for some reason, you're gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Because it's either violating or expiring, it would be super helpful.
That would be awesome. Or just even like, or even maybe in that agent dashboard.
Yeah.
Where you're.
But I still that email is like.
But yeah, email is. Very good. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where are the attendance sheets? I want to
There's
mark
one
up
right here.
that question.